Our next guest is one of 8 Medal of Honor recipients being celebrated in a new Netflix original docuseries titled Medal of Honor. As you probably know, that is the military's highest award for valor. That is why it is an absolute honor to welcome Ty Carter to our show this morning to tell us about this new docuseries. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to first say thank you for your service. Your story certainly heroic. Let me know your thoughts, though. When you were first approached to do this series, be a part of this series, what was your first thought?
My first thought was that I know it's going to be difficult, but something like this is very necessary. And when I say difficult, I mean that I was going to be almost forced, or I forced myself to relive that day, assist in the filming, and make it as accurate as possible. And I have to admit, there were a couple of situations where I got emotional. And I think that the Netflix people have made an incredibly factual and motivating and entertaining series that will pull on your heartstrings.
It's interesting you bring that up first, because when I was watching the trailer, one of the things that stuck out to me was that it was saying, like, this is documenting really, I mean, probably the worst day of your life. Why is it important, though, to make sure that these stories are told, and they're told factually and correctly, and for people to watch?
People really need to know what they're capable of. These stories are about normal individuals that were placed in extraordinary situations. And because they were raised as normal people, they focus heavily on morals and heavily on family. And when you're in these combat situations, you love your brother, you love your sister, you want to protect them, you want to take care of them. And if that means putting yourself in front of danger to do that, then that's what you do. And that's what this series shows. Just normal people put in extraordinary circumstances and performing amazingly.
I love that, too, where it talked about that the series doesn't focus on, you know, and what you guys do, not hate for the enemy, but love for your brothers and sisters that you're fighting with, correct?
Yes, yes. I feared failing my brother more than I feared injury or death. That's kind of how it went.
I know you've been very vocal about PTSD and getting awareness out. What is the message that you hope in watching this? I hope part of this was maybe even healing for you to go back there. But what is your message about PTSD and how you know, others can get help?
Well, the problem with PTSD is that it's called a disorder. And if you're labeled with this disorder, you got this stigma, or you're treated differently. And in order to help people understand to get help is if we remove the D, if we remove the stigma, then it won't be considered an infectious disease or that you're going to go postal. Every single one of us go through a trauma. Many traumas, whether it's a car accident, sexual assault, loss of a loved one, or even combat. It actually happened, and our bodies and minds are affected to where we learn to avoid repeating the incident. And when we do that, sometimes, you know, life becomes uncomfortable, but we're still us. You're still you, and you need to learn how to deal with the fact that, you know, you don't live in a bubble. Bad things do happen sometimes. We just can prepare and change things in order to prevent it from happening again. And if people need help, they should start, you know, small, talking to loved ones or you know, talking to friends. And then if they continue to do more, then possibly seek a counselor, or even better yet, peer counseling. Find somebody who's experienced a like trauma and just talk to them, because they understand how you're feeling. And then you learn from each other and you grow and evolve.
As we get ready to wrap up, Ty, I did want to get your thoughts. What is your advice for those getting ready to enlist in the military and maybe start their own journey? What is your advice for them?
My advice is when you're going through basic, keep your head down, your mouth shut, and try to do everything you can to get a guarantee, you know, job on your contract, but in the end, it will always be the needs of the country and the needs of the military. And just wake up every morning, do your best, and hopefully you won't have to go through a situation like the recipients shown in this Netflix series, which is available now. So if you want to watch it, go to Netflix, click on search bar, Medal of Honor, and then you'll see us.
Yep. Again, thank you for your service. Thank you for sharing your story. We appreciate your time this morning. And yeah, I can't wait to watch. I'm going to be tuning in.
Let us know. Thanks.